Today, more than ever, the New York Forum tries to be a call to action for major challenges facing our society. We want a real, engaged, open debate today. We want to hear from you about concrete solutions to the problems we discuss. Everyone here is a speaker.
Start with this. Proposition 1, technology is real and massive in its implications. This device has more computing power than the entire Apollo project did that sent a man to the moon in 1969.
The average African today has just as much information in his hand as the average American.
We need to prepare our youth for the future, and that's why we really made the choice of openness and integration of our economy within the world first.
As far as I'm concerned, this is as important as any economic issue in the world. We have an outmoded educational system which has been designed to teach people to succeed in a different world. I think this is the biggest issue that's not being discussed really seriously in the U.S. today.
There is no more effective weapon to kill poverty and alleviate inequality than the quality of education.
Let me say where Africa is ahead of the game of the U.S., using technology that will bring jobs to the forefront. Everyone says, well, it takes jobs from us. Well, not necessarily, and I think Africa has shown that they can be ahead of the game. We're happy that we're working with these leaders around the world. What's disappointing is we've been unable to really get any movement in the United States.
And there's a political problem that we have, it seems to me, that we're not willing as a nation to take enough risk.
Despite its vaunted flexibility, despite the fact that we have had a more satisfactory U.S. recovery, the United States has a higher fraction of men out of work than those paragons of economic virtue, the French.
En effet, la technologie est une chance pour l'Afrique. Notre retard qui nous a beaucoup pénalisé pendant longtemps peut se transformer en un avantage.
The issues that we face in the U.S. and developed economies around jobs and employment with technology are very different in Africa and less developed economies.
Like much of Africa, our greatest challenge is to create sufficient, high-quality jobs for the young people who now make up the majority of our population.
I'll put this to African leadership. How are we seeing that going forward in able to take this opportunity in creating a new paradigm shift for the continent?
I dealt with the financial crisis and financial risks, and there's certain things that are similar to the risks we've got here. But this is much worse and much more vicious.
What's indisputable is that a majority of American people, 65%, believe we need action on climate change, if not immediately, within the next few years.
Of all the countries in the world that will be affected by climate change, we're it. If we have any hope of movement on this issue in the world, we have to demonstrate that we are ready to do things. Otherwise, it is impossible to ask others to move.
I come from a part of the world where we don't necessarily need reports to be convinced that climate change is happening at a very aggressive rate. Climate change has no nationality. It does not have a boundary. So it's imperative, the convergence of everyone's responsibility to take care of this world.